Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Master, where we rank, review, trailer react, and talk about movies and TV shows. Sorry about the long break between content. It took me a while to make this video. So yeah, I'm going to be ranking all 10 Batman movies, ranked from worst to best. And hopefully you guys enjoy them. And this is my opinion, so you do not have to agree with anything I say here. You can love Batman v Superman, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Forever, Batman 89, Batman Returns, and Batman and Robin. But anywho, continuing, this video is spoilers for anyone who's not seen the most recent Batman, which is Batman v Superman. But yes, spoiler just in case you guys have not seen any of them. But these movies date back really far back, and if I went further back, we'd probably be going back to the 40s, or even the 30s. So you got your warning. But some of these movies came out like in the 60s, 80s, and 2000s. So you've had over several years to see some of these movies, including the more current one, Batman v Superman. You've had enough, like 5 years to see it. You missed it? Oh well, go watch the movie in. Sorry about that, I just really big eye issues. Anyway, continuing. At number 10 is Batman and Robin. Now, Batman and Robin, it has a campy plot. Everything's campy. You see shots of bat boots, bat butts, and bat abs. Bat abs, to be more specific. Bat butts, bat boots. And equipping Batman. And, baby bitch Robin. That's what we get as since 1989 and 1992, some of Batman's greatest films. Then we got 1995's Alright Batman Forever and 1997's Batman and Baby Boy. But to be all things considered, this movie's a big cash grab, and it doesn't really seem to want to tell a plot. All it seems to do is go, hey people, here's a toy, here's a Batmobile, here's a Robin. Why would you want to buy Robin though? Here's a Batman, because we want to cash in on Batman, and we want to steal the money right out of your pants pockets and give it to Warner Brothers, and then make more money, and then make the next movie, and then cash grab you, and use Joel Schumacher to make not really that good movies. Batman and Robin had a very incomprehensible plot, very silly, not very good lines, too much of a campy tone that overloaded the movie. Some superhero movies are good at keeping their campy tone. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were perfect at keeping the campy tone that made them comic booky, yet the serious, realistic tone of the real world. That's what made them so good. DC, that was never DC. They never really needed a realism factor. Yet even Batman 1989 and Batman Returns both kept the whole realistic idea, campy idea of the Batman films. More of a gothic take, actually, rather than a campy take. So, gothic take with a tiny bit of campy and lots of realism. That's what I really think the series did well. It did really well with doing that in this film. Not in this film. Okay, wait, no, I'm confused. Yeah, basically, Batman and Robin is not that good. It's just not a good movie. I don't really recommend it. I've only seen it once. I don't want to see it again. This killed the superhero genre. And if you think I'm over-exaggerating, ask any superhero fan, especially a superhero movie fan, a devoted superhero movie fan, or even a fan in general, saying that Batman and Robin practically killed out the superhero genre. Plus, it also kind of killed... Marvel was already dead by that point, since Marvel were bankrupting on their comics, with only Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and a few others to keep them afloat. Marvel ended up reporting for bankruptcy, something class bankruptcy, in 1989, 1998, and 1999. Well, around early 1997, they filed for bankruptcy around the time of Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin symbolized the end of an era, a really bad end of era type of thing, the era of comic book movies. The first era was from the 1930s all the way to the 1960s. That era ended with the Batman show. Then the new era started with the 1970s Superman. Movies. And then continued on until the 1990s. That era ended. The new era started when Blade started up the next movie era, next superhero movie era, and led it into Spider-Man 3. And the current superhero movie era from Iron Man to now is the era that's revived superhero movies. Iron Man all the way to now is a current era of superhero movies that's been going on for quite a while now. So yeah. It's revealed to us this current era and past era gone of some good and bad superhero movies. Batman and Robin in general is a bad movie. I would not recommend this to anybody. It's not really a good movie. It banks on the idea of Batman. Joel Schumacher didn't really get to tell anything, and it looked garbage. It looked like dog poop, basically. So yeah. And number 9 is Batman Forever. Batman Forever is a bit more better than Batman and Robin, but not as bad, not nearly as bad as Batman and Robin, but not nearly as good as other Batman movies. Even though I'd say there's a coherent story, but well, the Batman in this looks a tiny bit younger than the Batman that came before him. His performance is campy, and yeah, a lot of differences. Chase Meridian was over-sexualized. The love interest was over-sexualized, like Megan Fox, Michaela Baines type of thing. The Transformers franchise type of over-sexualization of the character. While she got a character, I felt like she was just there to make the boys and men of the film get interested in the film due to her nice looks and the nice grovelly voice, I kind of say. The nice kind of seductress voice they put on her. The nice grovelly seductress voice, therapist kind of voice that she had. And yeah, this film has better qualities. I do wish we got a recut of it with a darker tone. Like, this film would explore why he became Batman. In deleted scenes, we find out why he became Batman after losing his parents. The Bat is a very big part of his origin story. It tells us why he became Batman. But when you actually see it, it gets cut off halfway through the film and never gets finished. We actually see the lead scene where Bruce Wayne masters, after even quitting being Batman for a while in the movie, soon learns to be Batman again when he is faced with the Bat that turned him into the Batman so many years ago. He finally faces that Bat and aligns with it like a man, a Batman. And coming out as Batman, he went in as Bruce Wayne, emerging as Batman. Then he followed back to Bruce Wayne, then re-emerged as Batman. That's what I really thought Batman Forever could have done. Also, keep the dark opening that we saw in the film and make it more dark toned, and make Tommy Lee Jones' face a bit more darker. A bit more darker. So yeah. But besides that, Batman Forever is a decent movie. I think it could have been a decent movie, and even now, I'd say it's still a decent movie for my taste. It's better than Batman and Robin, but not as good as the next entry on my list. Yet that entry's not even that good either. Next entry is number 8, Batman v Superman. Now don't get angry at me. There's a very good reason why I don't like this. It's the Iron Man 2 of its franchise. Iron Man 2, the big issue a lot of people dislike Iron Man 2 is they cram way too many plot lines together. The whole big issue is they're trying to get quickly to the Avengers films. Iron Man was laid out very perfectly. It's been developed since the early 2000s. It was announced in 2006, 2004, in the early 2000s to mid, that Marvel would be making its own independent films. And in 2006, it was announced that Iron Man was being put in production by Marvel. A very controversial casting choice has been rumored and confirmed by director Jon Favreau and Marvel Studios that Robert Downey Jr., a very controversial actor at the time, was playing the role of Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, Edward Anthony Stark. Now, a lot of people did not know who Iron Man was prior to this film's release. A lot of Iron Man and Marvel comic fans did, but not exactly. He was not a big hero, big leagues hero like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, the Fantastic Four, or the X-Men. He wasn't a big league. He wasn't really a big league hero like they were. And that's saying something. Fantastic Four has had a good run in the comics, but never really had a good run on screen. They had campy or plain out bad films. X-Men, on the other hand, had a good start, yet a very horrible midpoint, good and bad, and then very, very, very controversial ending. Spider-Man always had an up and down career. He went up, then a bit down, then down, up-ish a bit, then down, then up. Uppity up. That's where he's up currently. But with this, Iron Man was laid out perfectly to introduce us to the MCU as we know it, and keep a grounded feel to make it feel like it was grounded in reality, to perfectly cement us in this universe. Then Hulk shot a bit out there, but still kept us in the grounded world of the MCU to make us, because it's only the second movie, to still introduce us to the idea of that. Then boom. After that, we have Iron Man 2, which goes a bit more superhero, less grounded in reality. Still gets a grounded in reality aspect of the first film, but goes a bit more superhero-like direction with this one. But Iron Man 2 tries too hard to set up for the Avengers film. Thor does it better. Thor hints at the fact that there's more coming after his film, but the Thor movie does it better. Kenneth Branagh and the writers and Marvel Studios planned it a bit better with this one. They wanted to rush the film. Jon Favreau didn't really get enough time to write a proper script. Plus, not to mention, 2010 came up after a very hard writing year. 2009 was a writer's strike. A lot of writers went on strike, and a lot of films never really got made that well. And if you guys have seen my Transformers ranking video, you know about the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen controversy. Unlike a lot of fans, I actually am a very hardcore fan of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. So what if Megan Fox is treated as sex eye candy, or the plot makes really no sense, there are racist and annoying characters, and a lot more. Besides the fact that Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is a very controversial film of its own, it's even more controversial and caused more controversy among the Transformers fandom, more than its predecessor and successors even did. A lot of the reason for that movie was due to the fact that Skid and Mudflap, two of the characters in the film, were apparently racist. But Michael Bay was doing a pretty good job opening us up to different personalities. He was making them human. So yes. But yes, when Thor did it, they did it well. Back onto the main point. The MCU did it well, but Iron Man 2 overloaded things. They tried introducing way too many separate ideas. They brought in Black Widow. They introduced the Avengers Initiative. You have all different plot lines crossing over from Iron Man. 1, he has a heart condition and he's dying. Number 2, the Avengers Initiative is looming on him. Number 3, he's got secret agents up his ASS 24/7. Number 4, they're trying to set up another movie, Thor and Captain America over here. And number 5, Tony's trying to deal with his daddy issues. Number 6, Tony's trying to deal with his relationship issues. Number 7, Tony has all kinds of issues throughout this movie. And then another plotline, the government wants Iron Man suits. That's a cool idea, but when you cram it too much together, it makes it feel very, very odd. Like you have these big actions, like the Monaco race scene, or the final battle, or the Iron Man vs. Rhodey. Then you get slow to these really slow scenes. Like after the Iron Man and War Machine battle, I was so hyped and loving this movie so far. Then we got a boring shot of how blah 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 Rhodey got the suit. Yes, we know that. Rhodey got the suit. We know that he can use the suit very well. We don't need to know. All we need to see is shots of the suit get updated by Justin Hammer and turned into War Machine. That's all we need to know. But Batman v Superman makes it way worse. Can I tell you why? So, back to the real main point, is the reason why Batman v Superman is not really a favorite film of mine. Batman v Superman was trying to rush into this way too fast. The issue with DC is they didn't want to build up their universe. They wanted to rush with Marvel. Now, they could have started it any time. They could have used The Dark Knight as a launching point. They could have used Superman Returns as a launching point. The Dark Knight trilogy, they didn't want that to be touched. They wanted to be left as a grounded reality. Bringing in characters like Superman flying through Gotham City, or Wonder Woman throwing a lasso of truth, or Flash speeding through the streets of Central City would make no sense in the canon for The Dark Knight. So that's why he was cut out of the DC, was cut out and recasted with Ben Affleck in the reboot of Batman. What I think they should have done is do Man of Steel, then do another hero, then do a sequel to Man of Steel. And then after that, don't make Batman v Superman so that if Superman dies, we feel sad and feel like that he's maybe earned this death. Because they didn't make anything in between Man of Steel. They were going to make Man of Steel 2, but they turned it into Batman v Superman. This was a wrongly overhyped movie. Batman v Superman are two of my favorite superheroes. I've loved those things, people, for long as I can remember. Like Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Deadpool, and many other Marvel heroes, I have a very high regard for DC characters. But due to the current lineup of the movies, I actually started leaning into the Flash more due to the Flash's like tone. I never really watched the superhero movies; they just never got into my taste. The Dark Superman never really got to me. The Dark Batman was always interesting, yet just was a bit too dark for my taste. So I always liked Marvel heroes because they were light-hearted versions of the characters I grew up with. Which is why I prefer more light-hearted storylines and not dark-as storylines about death. That's why I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and that's why I get really scared or angry or sad when a sad or very serious storyline is pumped into the comics. But that gives it some realism. I realize now that it gave the storyline some realism. Okay, I'm just gonna keep jumping off the point. The point is that Batman v Superman does way too many attempts to try and start up and catch up to Marvel. If you rush your way through, you're not gonna succeed. Why do you think DC's rebooting every hero? Batman's getting redone. Superman's getting redone right now with J.J. Abrams. Wonder Woman got a bit of a redo. They're all getting redos due to the fact DC knows that this cinematic universe thing isn't working. It could work if they just tweak everything up. And then they just dump the dark-ass tone and dump it and then decide to go with a lighthearted tone because they know it's not going to work. That's the issue with DC. They wanted to catch up to Marvel and that ruined the universe. That's why I'm not a big fan of the DCEU. There's some movies I'm getting hyped up for next year that are from DC. Ones like the Shazam sequel, or what else? Or the Flashpoint Paradox movie. The only issue I have with those movies is the movies now are disconnected from each other. Shazam felt like the only movie in the continuity currently that felt like it actually connected to the main timeline. It was like the Spider-Man Homecoming of its time. It mentioned events like a bullet that deflected off Superman or a batarang from Batman. That was given to Freddy. A lot of different items given from different superheroes, which is what I really found cool. But the reason I don't like Batman v Superman is it crammed way too many plot lines in. On one plotline, you gotta continue Superman's arc from the first movie. On number 2, you gotta try and introduce Batman again. Number 3, you gotta introduce Wonder Woman, which I think was done very well. Number 4, you gotta do the Superman die storyline. Number 5, you gotta do the whole Doomsday plotline. Number 6, you have to cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. And number 7, make Batman kill people. Okay, those last 2 or 3 would never made sense, but I'm just over-exaggerating a bit. The point is that they tried way too much to be an Iron Man 2 of the franchise. Like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they crammed way too many plot lines and characters in there to make it a coherent movie. It felt like an incoherent mess. That's why I didn't really like the film. And Batman was brutally murdering people. He broke his code. That's unique, but that's breaking Batman's code. Batman doesn't kill people. Batman, Ben Affleck, and Henry Cavill are amazing choices to play the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight. Ben Affleck would have been perfect as a successor to Christian Bale's The Dark Knight. He would have been a perfect successor. Christian Bale was a much more better successor than George Clooney in his time as the Batman. George Clooney was a very failed successor to Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was a poor successor to Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was actually quite a very good, very better, exceeding expectational successor of Adam West. You get the idea now? That's the thing with Batman. Batman's a good character, but making him break his code and basically kill people is making him like the Flashpoint Batman of Flashpoint, making him have guns and go blah, 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 shooting people. DC has caught up, sourced up some high controversy, and they go, here it is, people, controversial movie BS. BC, which means you don't want to know. Means Bruce Campbell. No, I'm just joking. It doesn't mean Bruce Campbell. You know what it means. BC means it's bold CRAP. I'm not gonna say it. I'm trying to make this kid friendly. I know it's for kids, but just gotta be careful. Maybe someone my age is more younger is watching. Gotta be careful. But that's my point. Batman v Superman, I just think it clashes way too much. The plot lines are clashing all over the place, and you can't get a sense of a good story in this movie. They kill off Superman way too easy. I think it was not easy, way too soon. I think it was a good death, but it was way too soon in the timeline. We hadn't got enough time with this version of the Man of Steel. If they made a fifth Superman movie and killed off that Christopher Reeve's version, we would have felt sad. Because, well, Christopher Reeve's Superman had been around for 4 movies. To see him die in the 5th or 6th movie would have been sad. Or seeing the animated Superman die from the Superman the Animated Series cartoon die just right in front of you would have been sad, since you've known him for nearly an entire cartoon and 2 cartoon series, and crossing over with another cartoon series called Batman the Animated Series. That would have been just sad, and I just find that would have been sad, and I find this one sad yet too early. They'd done it too early. Wonder Woman would have been perfect to keep in the movie if they just changed up some things. Maybe make a Man of Steel 2 in between 2013 and 16. Make it so that we have 2 Superman films, and that we've already expanded on Superman's arc, and we've seen have 2 movies with this Superman. So we know how he is. And we know why he saves people. But we know that if he might die, we've at least gone and known for 2 or 3 movies. So that when he's brought back in Justice League or something, it's not confusing. You get my play here? That's why I think that's an issue. Batman v Superman, that's a big issue why I don't like the movie. They bring stuff in way too soon. Overall, they don't do Marvel's really popular, very successful formula. The Arrowverse did Marvel's successful formula. They're not nearly as popular as Marvel, but the Arrowverse is doing quite decent now, and has even got up to a point of a Crisis on Infinite Earths, an Infinity War type of storyline. DC has not reached that point yet. The Arrowverse started with Arrow, then moved on with The Flash, then went with Legend of Tomorrow, then Supergirl, then then a spin-off on Netflix, Black Lightning. After Black Lightning, they all 5 shows, including the old shows from the 90s, 2000s, and 80s, crossing into one another to create Crisis on Infinite Earths. Also, Batwoman, made in 2019, crossed over into the Crisis on Infinite Earth. I found that really cool idea, and the repercussions that have happened in the post-Crisis world. The Flash, Supergirl, Legend of Tomorrow, and Superman and Lois show us the ripple effects of this post-Crisis world. So yeah. But overall, Batman v Superman, it has a seeds of success, but it's covering a lot of not really that good plot lines, killing off things too early. Overall, they're just trying to catch up to Marvel, but they're not using the Marvel winning formula. Without taking that completely out of the recipe, that makes it a very burnt up, crisp result. Now I've been rambling on way too much about this one, and number 7 is The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises is a very poor yet good ending to the Batman franchise. I wish it could continue with the 4th, but due to it being a perfect, it had to be a trilogy. Sadly, it was ended off at a 3rd film. This 3rd film nearly does not go to the immense amount of awesomeness The Dark Knight was, or the immense amount of good Batman adaptation that Batman Begins was. The Dark Knight Rises heavily builds on the events of The Dark Knight, especially The Dark Knight, and builds heavily on the events of that, which is what I really think the Dark Knight trilogy really did well, and I wish future DCEU movies would have done that, or even this when the DCEU started, they did it where they followed events from the previous film heavily. They did that at the start, but then started doing it really poor and shitty in the later point. Language for me, God, I gotta watch my language. Anywho, The Dark Knight Rises is overall not really good language. It's a very not language. It's not very good. It's not a very good ending in my opinion. I think it closes off all the plot lines perfectly and gives Batman a happy ending. Realistically, yes, he somehow would have lived. I do believe somehow that Batman didn't live. He did not die. I do believe Batman lived. Somehow, Batman lived. For us to find out, we have to find it out by answering ourselves. When this movie came out, a lot of people have the theories whether Batman Bruce Wayne was dead or whether he was actually alive. Though Batman was dead, Bruce Wayne lived on. Bruce Wayne was alive and well, with Selina Kyle likely dating / soon to be married to her, and likely they would have had children. Which I would have really found a cool ending. cool ending and a very beautiful ending for Batman. Because it foreshadows also the fact that the day Rachel said that the day she would fall in love and date Bruce Wayne is the day the Batman decides to stop being the Batman. Bruce Wayne wanted to do that, but that Rachel was passed away. But a possible love with Selina Kyle had emerged, and with that, a future with her. With the Batman thing no longer being an issue, Selina Kyle was likely given up being Catwoman and decided to be with Bruce Wayne. And I really found the idea of them taking over the city, it was really impacted long. In The Dark Knight Rises, they really made the impact of how big of an issue that Bane really is. He was easily defeatable, yes, but they made it a real big issue that he had taken over the city. And I really found that a cool idea with the film, and they made it really cemented really long. But Bruce Wayne giving up being Batman for a little while was handled quite poorly, in my opinion. But I still found it really good, and some of the plot lines of him not being able to be Batman anymore, or not suitable to be Batman. I really found that an interesting idea for the character. But overall, I'm very sad that this had to end like that, but I was really happy with the ending they gave. And I think I was really happy for Alfred that even though he thought he failed Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, he actually did what they did. He actually did what they asked. He actually did what they asked and what they wanted and asked. All they wanted was for Bruce Wayne, that if they did die, for Bruce Wayne to be taken care of. Alfred did what he did. He took care of Bruce Wayne. And he helped him. Guided him from a superhero life, from being a grieving boy, to a superhero life, to being a man. And likely a married man, and a father. And I found that a very cool ending for Batman. Next is number 6 is 1966's Batman movie. The 1966 Batman movie is basically a very big TV show episode. I've seen the movie once, and I found it quite a good movie. It took the campy, very funny vibe of the TV show, in my opinion, and made a really big movie out of it. And I really think it was interesting, but I do think they cut back on some of the characters, but overall the film's really good. Now, I haven't watched it, I never really watched it again, but I really did watch it, and I really didn't mind it. There can't be ideas like the shark repellent bat spray, or something like that. I found that a really campy, a funny aspect of this Batman show. And this would be kind of like the very good pinnacle of Batman's comic book accuracy. The next in the lineup were next two movies would have been great movies. The first one being actually a really great successor and reboot. The second one a bit of a dark, edgy, kinky movie, whilst the third was a decent comic book movie, and the fourth a very unpleasant, death-defying, not really good, dying genre, very bad reboot sequel. So yeah. In fact, I did not know Batman Forever and Batman and Robin were actually connected to the original first two Batman movies. Because they rarely mention those two films. I just thought they were never really connected. But I just know that the actors who played Alfred was the same actor. But yeah, I knew Batman and Robin was the sequel to Batman Forever, but I didn't know Batman Forever and Batman and Robin were both sequels to Batman Returns and Batman 89. But yeah, those movies are both decent while they are, and I find it a very decent movie in itself. And speaking of Batman Returns, and decent movie itself that 1966 was, speaking of Batman Returns, or 1989 Batman, we'll talk about its sequel, Batman Returns, made in 1990 or 1992, or 1991. I know Batman Forever was made in 1995, and Batman and Robin was made in 1997, and Batman was made in 1989, the 1989 Batman. But I think this one was pretty sure made in 1992. So yeah, 1991 and 1992. You tell me in the comments below what you think. But continuing, I rewatched Batman Returns quite recently, and I found it a alright film. Very dark. I had to a lot of times avoid watching it. It was very dark, and the Penguin death was really ungratifying, really not gratifying to watch. Like when I was a kid, I got scared the hell out of myself when I first saw that, and even now I found it very ill and very, very dark, and I'm not surprised they chose another director to go with this, but I wish they just told Tim Burton to lighten the mood a tiny bit. Like, make it as good as Batman 1989. One thing I wish is that directors sometimes make good first movie. Then they made a really not so good second movie. Then they make it actually quite decent third film. And if they do, end on a good note. But sometimes, on rare occasions, a second film like The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and many other sequels can be really, really good. And yeah, and some sequels can be really bad, like Back to the Future Part 2, or The Amazing Spider-Man 2, or Cars 2. Or there can be decent ones like Too Fast, Too Furious, or really decent, not decent films like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I've already said that one, I know. But back to the point, Batman Returns overall is a really weird movie, and it didn't sell too many toys or McDonald's toys, so Warner Brothers opted on doing a redo of the franchise with Batman Forever. Overall, it was a good film. I just wish they could have continued all the plot lines, including the hundreds, even millions of thousands of dollars that was wasted on that Catwoman head scene with her head lifting up. Michelle Pfeiffer was not in that scene. That was actually an animatronic. And that was a waste of money. She was supposed to be continuing on in the next Batman movie, Batman Continues. It was going to be called not Batman Forever. So yeah. Batman Returns was the last movie Michael Keaton starred in. He was supposed to star in Batman Forever, but opted on not doing it. But continuing on, next at number 4 is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I found this one actually really fun film to watch, and I really loved the animated movie. It had really actually cool animation that reminded me if it was like a comic. And I really liked the dark storyline, yet cool way that they brought back the Joker, yet explained a bit of his origin story, that he was a part of the gang that killed Bruce's lover. Bruce had once dated a lover. What was her name? Oh, I don't know. Her name. Her father got in trouble with bad people, and as a threat, he got killed by Jack Napier. And in the Batman animated series continuity, Jack Napier became the Joker. Apparently, Jack Napier was supposed to protect her father, but apparently, no, he decided to kill him. So yeah. After that, the film ended quite well. I forgot the girl's name, but the film was really good. And I really quite liked the idea of the film. And, I thought it was good, a decent film, and I really found it a good ending. Number 3 is Batman Begins. Batman Begins is actually a very, very good movie. I find it a very awesome way to tell Batman's origin story, a very grounded way. It tells the story of a boy who's been broken, and the boy who needs to be fixed by going up to the far reaches of areas and training himself to fight criminal men like him. Like the man Jojo who took his parents from him, and a normal life at all from him. I found it like Batman 89. A very big Batman movie at heart, and it does amazing bringing villains like the Scarecrow or Ra's al Ghul and other villains into the franchise, and teasing villains like the Joker and many others into the franchise. I find Batman Begins a very good movie, and I find it a very awesome way to tell his origin story in the beginning of an amazing franchise with a very ending. And number 2 is Batman 1989. Batman 1989 was a pinnacle movie of its time, and I found it a quite awesome movie. I used to love watching this. The Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker actually did scare me when he killed that dude by shaking his hand. But I did like some of the scenes, and I found it a really, really cool way to do Batman's movies. Okay, yep, super. But I really think that Batman 1989 was a really good movie and a really awesome way to do Batman's movies. I found it nice that they took a very Batman storyline and made a very gothic, dark tone that was perfect enough to make it a very good film, a very sellable film to get toys from the kids. Make the kiddos buy some toys. Batman Returns made it a bit more kinky and a bit more for the ones older than kids and younger than adults. You know what I mean. They're the ones who like Michael Bay movies, isn't it? After that is now at number 1 is The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a perfect sequel to the Batman Begins movie. It continues all the amazing plot lines that Batman Begins told, but makes them even better. And I find this movie tells a really awesome storyline of law Batman. It tests Batman's will and responsibility to being the Batman, even with a personal loss. Rachel Dawes dies. Her dying really sits Batman down for a mood, but realizes he must get over that and get above that and stop the Joker, who's a new villain in town trying to kill a bunch of people. And he gets a suit upgrade from Lucius Fox. And which I found that really good. But yeah, with that, Batman is an awesome character, and I found him really cool as a character. And I found him really awesome. He was a good character, and I found this origin story, the origin story of Batman Begins was really cool, and found the Dark Knight extended the story and was even rippling the fix on the Dark Knight Rises. Making it my favorite Batman movie. But that's my review. What do you guys think of this review? Please tell me in the comments below. It took a very long time to make this, so sorry if it's not really that decent. I've been trying to rush it to try and get it out. So I've opted on canceling my Harry Potter ranking video. I feel like that it's too much of a one I don't really want to do. I want to do it at a later point. Now, the 6th season of the Flash video, you will not be seeing that for a while. Until the season 7 premiere, that's when you start seeing it. And I find this is a really good video. The next video will be the Flash video likely, and then the most ambitious video yet. My most ambitious video, which is the MCU. Sorry. 23 movies, soon to be 24. Several years from 2008 to now. I will be ranking all 24 MCU movies. Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America the First Avenger, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man Homecoming. I'll be ranking all these movies on the day WandaVision shall finish. Actually, no, instead to extend it, I will rank them. I'll rank it on April 9, when Black Widow releases in the theaters. If Black Widow is still set to release on that month. With this, I cannot wait to tell you how excited I am to do that ranking. That will be the ultimate ranking. I've already written it down, and it'll be the ultimate ranking I've ever done. 23 movies. Yes, I counted 23 movies now, not 24. 23 movies, and at the end of the year, I'll be ranking all the movies, including the Disney Plus shows that have come out. But I will only be ranking the Disney Plus shows as one collective series, not as episodical. And yes, by March 19th, expect a ranking of all 9 WandaVision episodes. And by around April 12th, expect a review on, around April or May, expect a review on the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. All 6 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier and 9 episodes of WandaVision are going to be ranked. And expect a ranking and review on What If, the series where they take events from the MCU and alter it to make it What If, using one of the many Fox characters, the Watchers, and take him into the MCU and use him. So yes, this year is going to be a big bonkers and big with Marvel content, and the official title for Spider-Man 3 will be Spider-Man No Way Home. I'll be later uploading a video giving my opinions on the theory of this title. Thank you guys, goodbye, make sure to click like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any Movie Master content on any version of YouTube you're on. Like the browser, or like the computer version or the app version. Doesn't matter, just make sure you click that notification bell, that subscribe bar, subscribe bar, and the like button. So yes, with that, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.